Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And just for a change, the SNP is lurching from one crisis straight into another one. This time, it's the chaos caused by Peter Murrell's defence. A lot of MPs and MSPs are unhappy that the party is picking up the tab for his legal bill. Hamza Yousaf himself said a couple of days ago he didn't know whether the party was going to be paying for it or not. He either hadn't asked the solicitors for the party whether that would be the case, in which case he's inept and too stupid to be the leader, or he outright lied, in which case he definitely shouldn't be the leader. Whether it's stupidity or lies is up to you to decide. But it turns out that the SNP looks like they are actually paying for his defence. They've hired this very expensive lawyer in Edinburgh. He's not a very good lawyer. He's a very expensive lawyer, but he's not a very good one. They've used him a few times, and I don't think he's ever won any of the cases for which he's been hired. So it makes you wonder why they keep hiring him. Perhaps somebody somewhere, is getting a backhand, a little bit of a cut of hiring this man, perhaps. Who knows? But ultimately, the party members are not happy, and what they're doing is they're threatening to withhold funding as part of an agreement that the politicians have, is that out of their salary they pay an enhanced membership fee of £250 a month into the party coffers. But the point here is that they're threatening to withhold that, and we're talking thousands upon thousands of pounds every month, money the party can ill afford to lose. It doesn't have that much cash at the moment. And so this is a genuinely hard threat by these politicians. They don't want the party to pay for Peter Murrell's defence. Now, this leaves Hamza Yousaf basically three choices. Number one, he can basically ignore the rules, ignore these people, and break the party's own rules and pay for what is effectively now a private citizen's personal, legal defence, because after all, Murrell is no longer employed by the party. Or he can offer to pay for these defences out of his own money, which I don't think will happen. That's a non-starter, really. Or he can throw Peter Murrell under his own very expensive bus and let him pay his own legal fees. And assuming, of course, that they come in somewhere under, pick a random number out the air, say £600,000, he should easily be able to afford it. He shouldn't need legal aid. If he gets legal aid, there'll be an absolute uproar. A man who owns several houses, has obviously made a lot of money over the years, shouldn't be entitled to that legal aid. So we'll have a look at the story to see why the MSPs and MPs are very unhappy about this, why they feel that Peter Murrell, as a private citizen, should have to, should not be having his legal fees paid by the party. So here goes. Right, so it is just fun to watch this, it really is. So the SNP plunged into turmoil. Desperate, yet more turmoil, really. Desperate plea for unity as its own politicians threaten to stop the party funding. And of course, this party isn't wealthy at the moment. It's actually got nowhere near as much money as it really ought to have. So these thousands of pounds each month, it really is a serious amount of money that they need, that they would lose. And it will perhaps cause the end of the party. It could even damage the party beyond repair. And I don't think that anyone has got a problem with that, other than people in the party, of course, or who rely on the monies for their salary. Well, you've picked the wrong horse here, I'm afraid. MSPs are refusing to help pay for Peter Murrell's legal defence. And who can blame them? He no longer works for them. A senior MP, has pleaded for the party to come together after some politicians were left furious over claims that central funds may pay the legal bill of Nicola Sturgeon's husband, Peter Murrell, and remembering that they don't actually have that much money in the first place, and they've hired this very expensive lawyer. They've only got about 100,000 in the bank, thereabouts, which isn't a lot when you take out, salaries, overheads and things. So it really is tight, and now they're going to be looking to pay. It's going to be in the hundreds of thousands for defence for him. So it's no wonder they don't want to pay. The former chief executive of the party was arrested last week as part of an investigation into the financial mismanagement of SNP funding, which we have covered ad nauseum. The new Scottish First Minister Humza Yousaf, I think soon to be ex-First Minister Humza Yousaf, warned over the weekend that the party may have obligations to cover the legal costs of Murrell's defence, given that the police investigation relates to when he was directly employed by the SNP. There is no obligation. He is no longer an SNP employee. They have no obligations. Several MSPs are claimed to now be threatening to withhold their £250 a month membership subscription in protest. So, you could be talking thousands a month. Now, if they're losing thousands of pounds a month, they've still got all those overheads, and now they're taking on this burden of his legal defence. How the hell are they going to pay it? It's almost impossible for them to do so. The revolt is the latest turn in an internal saga that has seen unity within the SNP collapse. Speaking this morning, the party's former Westminster leader Ian Blackford issued an appeal for MSPs and MPs to stick together through this very difficult period. He admitted the party was facing a very challenging period and warned that political parties that aren't united tend to face electoral challenges. He said, "I would appeal to everyone in the party to come together now that the election contest for leader and the First Minister is over." The thing is, the party is riven with breakup. Now, this would never have happened under Sturgeon's era, but the party is fractured. You have fractional lines across who wants to be leader. Barely half the party, well, not even, but just over a third of them actually voted for Humza Yousaf, which means 2/3 of the party didn't vote for Humza Yousaf, and yet they've had him imposed as leader. Of those that did vote, nearly half voted for Kate Forbes. So you have that factional split. You have the factional split over the gender recognition. You have the factional split over the bottle deposit scheme. You have the factional split of the 15 that want to sort of come away from concentrating on progressive issues and moved more towards core values, the core issues that affect everyday Scots. You have the big one, which is the push for independence over doing the other thing. And they're sort of saying, yeah, we've got to admit that independence is a non-starter now. Can we drop it, move on and actually govern the country and then come back to independence at a later date? That's another fractional split. And now, of course, you've got this one over those that don't want the party to pay for Murrell's defence. This party is fractured, cracked, splintered, broken, and it's marvellous to watch. It's absolutely superb to watch as an outsider. I'm sure you all agree, to watch this party collapse and implode in real time. And I don't know how much longer Humza Yousaf can be leader. It's literally everything that could possibly go wrong has gone wrong. Ever since he's taken charge, there's been no leadership. He's not a leader. He stands there and he talks, but he's not done anything. He's not given confidence to the party. When the only one actually talking sense, and it's very weird to say this, when the only one standing there asking for unity, trying to sort the situation out, is Ian Blackford, you know that Humza Yousaf is not the man to be leading this party. Anyway, Blackford went on. "I'm optimistic, but we need to make sure that we show that we're worthy of support of the people of Scotland." He added, "We need to demonstrate that we are worthy of the trust of the people. And it's about, I would say, the Scottish Government delivering across all the devolved areas and doing the work that we need to do to demonstrate that the best answer for Scotland is to become an independent country." News of a planned rebellion on membership fees was first reported yesterday. The SNP is thought to have hired leading lawyer Stuart Monroe, who specialises in allegations of financial crime, to advise on the current situation. This very, very expensive lawyer, like I say, who's never won a case for the SNP, despite several attempts. So why they would continue picking a loser? But then you have got Humza Yousaf, the ultimate loser, the ultimate failure. So it's no wonder he would also pick other people who are failures. Murrell was arrested by police last Wednesday, where blah, 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 blah. We've come to have all of this. But he is definitely going to cause a major problem for the party, a major headache. There he is. Another major headache because the party can't afford to pay his defence. Most of the party don't want to pay his defence. And despite what Humza Yousaf says, because obviously he just opens his mouth and either the stupid come out or the lies come out, whichever it is, they have got no obligation to pay for the defence. Like I say, it's amazing that Blackford is the only one trying to actually pull the party together again. It's stunning, isn't it? How much damage has been caused by the greed, effectively, of one man. Of course, it isn't just one man, it's all of them. But anyway, I shall come up, round off, and we'll finish this video. I think it may even be time for the Electoral Commission to go in and inspect the books of the SNP. I have a feeling they may well actually be bankrupt. They may actually be insolvent. It could be that, you know, their parlous state is down to the fact that they're not getting the cash in that they need, and they're still making these expenditures of salaries, rents, properties, things like that. All these expenses are going out, but I don't think they're getting in as much as they perhaps thought they were. And if they are sort of, you know, bankrupt or, you know, financially embarrassed in any way, the Electoral Commission could actually disband them. That, I think, would be the ultimate humiliation for this bunch of vaguely crooked, certainly inept fools. I'm going to go as far and say some of them are undoubtedly criminal. I'm not naming names, but some of them I think are undoubtedly criminal. They're negligent, they're inept, and they, you know, they're basically running it as a cabal. It's so secretive. They're not letting people look at the books. They're not letting people look at the rules even. The whole election of Humza Yousaf broke the party's own rules. And given all that's happened, I think anyone would now agree that he is not the legitimate leader, that the party needs to rerun the election. He will be done. Kate Forbes will come in, and if anyone's going to reunite it, it will be her. She will clear out the old guard. She will clear out all the people in the hierarchy and put in people who are not tainted, not associated with the potential corruption of what's come before. I think it's the only way that the party could even be saved. But you know, assuming it's not savable, then the party will collapse and it will die, and it won't, you know, it won't last long. And I do think that he will be gone. I think Humza Yousaf will be gone in a matter of a couple of weeks. I honestly do. And I would love to see it. And I'm sure you all would. Anyway, we shall keep our eye out on these people. I shall be watching like a hawk. And to help me do that, it would be great if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, because every subscription makes us slightly louder, keeps our eye more firmly on the ball, and it stops these people trying to get away with anything, because they're all crooks, aren't they? Anyway, other than that, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see in here, do hit, as I say, that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, don't offer to pay for Peter Marl's defence, he can pay for his own bloody defence, and goodbye.